Hi everybody, today I'm going to do an example of solving a quadratic equation by completing the square. So we're given an equation, w squared minus 14w plus 3 is negative 14. The first thing I want to do is move that 3 over to the right side. That'll give me w squared minus 14w equals negative 17. We are always going to do the same thing when we complete the square. I'm going to take the coefficient of this w term, I'm going to divide it by 2 and square it. That's going to look like w squared minus 14w plus negative 14 over 2 squared. It's important that you keep the sign as you're dividing by 2 and squaring it, and I'll show you why as we go. Now that I've added something new on the left, I need to add that same something to the right in order for us to keep equality. So my right side is now negative 17 plus negative 14 over 2 squared. On the left side, I do not expand negative 14 over 2 and square it. I simply go from this expression to w minus 7 squared. So the w squared becomes w, negative 14 over 2 becomes negative 7. That negative became important when I reduced it down and made it in the factored form. And I don't have to think about how it's going to factor. I know how it's going to factor. It'll be my initial squared term is now power 1, and then whatever is in the parentheses just comes down with it. On the right side, I have a little bit of work to do. I can keep the negative 17, but I do want to simplify negative 14 over 2 to be negative 7. Now that I've simplified it, I can go ahead and square it, which makes it 49. Now I can add negative 17 and 49, which is 32. At this step, I've completed the square. I took my original equation and I turned it into a perfect square on the left side. Now that I've done that, I can use the square root method to find my solutions. I'll start by taking the square root of both sides. So the square root of w minus 7 squared is the square root of 32. Remember, you're supposed to get two answers. So when I apply the square root and get w minus 7, I want to put a plus or minus over with that square root of 32. That's going to give me my two solutions. Square root of 32 can be broken down and simplified. I'm going to write 32 as 16 times 2. That way you think about taking the square root of 16, which just becomes 4. I have this nice w minus 7 as plus or minus 4 square root of 2. At this point, it's going to help to split this in two. So I'm going to write w minus 7 is 4 square root of 2, and then I'm going to write w minus 7 is negative 4 square root of 2. Then I can move the 7 over in both equations. I have w equals 7 plus 4 square root of 2, and w equals 7 minus 4 square root of 2. When you put this into your homework, remember you put a comma in between the two answers. You don't have to write the w. You just put in 7 plus 4 square root of 2 and 7 minus 4 square root of 2. Good luck.